If you feel uninspired on the guitar, if you feel like you are in a creative rut and that your fingers just flap around playing in pentatonic box shapes, you're not alone. I was also like you until I discovered sixths on the guitar. Sixths are the magical way to sound musical up and down the fretboard. They look and sound like this. This is the first time we're meeting. My name is Alec Lehrman. I've played on Grammy-nominated records. I'm a writer and producer, and I've collaborated with everyone from Meghan Trainor to Anderson Paak to BTS and more. The backing track for today's lesson will be available in the description. Also, if you want to dive deeper, a lot of the concepts we're going to talk about today stem from gospel guitar. So if you want to learn more about gospel guitar, I'm going to have a link to the course in the description below. You can check that out. So today we are in the key of B major. I'm going to break down this lesson as follows. I'm going to show you how you can use sixths in the key of B major, but then I'm also going to show you how you can play in just about any key, okay? So what you really need to know for today's lesson is two bar chords. It's literally, you need to know this bar chord, a B major bar chord. You'll also need to know this B major bar chord as well. So basically the difference is this bar chord is rooted on the low E string, and this bar chord is rooted on the A string, okay? And those are the only two shapes you're going to need to know. Everything else will be able to be moved up and down, okay? So when you have this B major, okay, you can remove everything except for your middle finger and your first finger. And you have this idea. It's on the G string, 8th fret, and on the high E string, 7th fret. Okay, this is a sixth. You don't really need to worry about, the intervals and everything right now. It's really just a shape you need to memorize. Okay, I don't want to get too deep into the theory weeds, but this shape is movable, okay? So if I have the key of B, I have this shape. If I have the key of A, I can do this shape, which is the 6th fret on the G string and the and the 5th fret on the high E string. Okay? So check that out. And you slide into it. Okay? Now, what really makes this so musical is if you take your ring finger and your pinky and you place them on the same string set, so the G and the B, but you place them on the 9th fret, okay? And then you can rotate back and forth. So that's in the key of B, right? Back to A, okay? But we're not done. And I know we haven't hit that E chord yet, but we'll get there, okay? This B, you can walk up then. You just take this and walk it up another whole step to the 11th fret. Okay, so it sounds like that. And I know that sounds like Brown Eyed Girl. Steve Cropper also uses these intervals a lot. But really, I feel like a lot of where I come from, where this channel comes from, is gospel and R&B and neo soul. So I'm going to show how you can do it in that flavor, okay? So this shape, you can also walk these shapes down chromatically. What I mean by that is 11th fret, 10th fret, 9th fret, back home. Okay? And then we finally get to this E, okay? This is the E chord, okay? And what you want to do is you want to find your E on the B string, okay? And then we're going to do a similar shape. We're going to have our 5th fret on the B string and our 6th fret on the D as in dog string, and we walk it up, 7th fret, 9th fret, back down, okay? So on the same string set, 7th fret, 9th fret, 7th fret, 9th fret, okay? So we can also do this bluesy type of thing for that E chord. Okay. So let's now start with the B and come up with some ideas. You can walk it up, A, walk it up, and then we can do for the E, do this bluesy idea. B, A, E. And then you can also slide into these ideas or walk into it. You can also take them and give them different rhythmic flavors or start on different notes, you know? So this time, instead of starting on this B and we're starting right here, we're starting up on the highest little 6. That's really nice. Okay. And if you want to be like, all right, that's great, Alec, but I want to move this all over the neck. Well, let's say we're in the key of G. Okay, we're going G to C, G to C, okay? G to C, okay? So what you do is you literally find this bar chord, right? And you'd get that little shell right there. And then you'd do the same shape. And then you'd go down, find that C note on the B string, and go down here and play that. So that is the 1st fret and the 2nd fret, similar to like the head C bar chord, right? You can get really musical with it. You can walk into the notes. You can do it in different octaves. You can right? And then what's so great is the final step you're going to add is you can just start playing that as long with your normal pentatonics, right? So you could, this is G, C, and play that, you know, some G pentatonic, and then you come back and play those 6. Now that you understand this concept, you're going to want to watch this video on gospel guitar so you can take your playing to the next level.